Hello and welcome to this exciting journey into the world of chemistry. Today, we are diving deep into exploring mixtures and their separation, specifically focusing on crucial techniques like crystallization, filtration, sedimentation, decantation, and magnetic separation. These methods are not just textbook concepts, they're vital in daily life, from purifying water to making medicines. We'll start with the basics, then gradually explore their deeper principles, industrial applications, and even some cutting-edge insights. Get ready for an engaging learning experience across 4 levels of complexity. Let's kick things off with the easy level, where we'll understand the fundamental ideas behind separating different types of mixtures using simple, everyday methods. First up, crystallization. Imagine you have salty water and you want to get pure salt back. Crystallization is the perfect method. You dissolve the impure solid in a hot solvent, then cool it slowly. As the solution cools, the pure solid separates out as beautiful, clean crystals. The impurities usually stay dissolved in the liquid. Think of how sugar crystals form when a sugary syrup cools down. It's all about getting a pure solid from a solution. Next, we have filtration. This is like using a tea strainer. Filtration separates tiny, insoluble solid particles from a liquid or a gas. You pass the mixture through a filter medium, like filter paper, which has tiny holes. The liquid, called the filtrate, goes through, but the solid particles, known as the residue, get trapped. It's how we separate sand from water, leaving clear water behind. Moving on to sedimentation and decantation. These two often go hand in hand. Sedimentation happens when you let a mixture of a liquid and heavier, insoluble particles sit undisturbed. Due to gravity, these heavier particles slowly sink and settle at the bottom. Think of muddy water. If you leave it for some time, the mud settles down. Once the solid has settled, decantation comes into play. It's the careful process of pouring off the clear liquid from the top, leaving the settled solid behind without disturbing it. So, you pour the clear water away from the settled mud. Finally, we have magnetic separation. This is a super handy method if one part of your mixture is magnetic and the other isn't. You simply bring a magnet close to the mixture. The magnet will attract and pull away only the magnetic substances, leaving the non-magnetic ones behind. A classic example is separating iron filings from a mixture of iron filings and sand. Simple, right? Now that we've covered the basics, let's test your understanding with a few questions. Question 1. Which separation technique would you use to obtain pure sugar from a sugar solution? Question 2. How would you separate a mixture of sand and water? And question 3. Imagine you have a mixture of iron pins and sawdust. What method would be most effective to separate them? Take a moment to think about these scenarios. Ready to go a bit deeper? At the medium level, we'll explore the underlying principles of these separation techniques and discover their practical applications in our daily lives and industries. Let's start with crystallization again. The main principle here is the difference in solubility of a solid at varying temperatures. Most solids become more soluble as temperature increases. So, when a hot, saturated solution is slowly cooled, the solubility drops, causing the pure solid to separate out as crystals. Impurities, being present in smaller amounts or having different solubility characteristics, typically remain dissolved in the leftover liquid, known as the mother liquor. This process ensures a higher purity compared to simple evaporation. Industrially, crystallization is crucial for purifying substances like sugar, common salt, and various pharmaceutical compounds, ensuring they meet strict purity standards. Next, filtration. Its mechanism relies purely on particle size difference. The filter medium acts as a sieve, with pores small enough to physically block the solid particles while allowing the liquid, or filtrate, to pass through. The efficiency and speed of filtration are influenced by several factors. The size of the solid particles matters. Smaller particles can clog the filter more easily. The viscosity of the liquid also plays a role. Thicker liquids filter slower. And, of course, the pore size of the filter medium and the pressure difference across it are critical. Filtration is fundamental in water purification plants, ensuring our drinking water is free from suspended impurities, and it's also how we separate tea leaves from our morning chai. Moving to sedimentation and decantation. These methods are fundamentally governed by density differences. Insoluble particles that are denser than the liquid will settle down under the influence of gravity. The rate of sedimentation is affected by the particle's size, its density relative to the liquid, and the liquid's viscosity. For very fine or light particles that settle slowly, techniques like flocculation, where chemicals are added to make small particles clump into larger, heavier flocks, can significantly speed up sedimentation. Decantation then allows for the gentle removal of the clear liquid. These methods are vital in the initial stages of water treatment, removing larger suspended solids before further purification, and also for separating immiscible liquids with different densities, like oil and water. Finally, magnetic separation. The principle here is the specific magnetic property of certain materials. Only ferromagnetic substances, such as iron, nickel, cobalt, and their alloys, are strongly attracted by a magnet. Non-magnetic materials, like sand, plastic, or even other metals like aluminium, are unaffected. The process is straightforward. A strong magnet is brought near the mixture, attracting and lifting away only the magnetic components. This method is incredibly useful in recycling facilities to separate ferrous metals from mixed waste, preventing them from contaminating other recyclable materials. It's also employed in the food industry to remove any accidental metallic contaminants from grains or other food products, ensuring consumer safety. Now, let's consolidate this knowledge with some practice questions. Alright, let's step up to the hard level. Here, we'll delve into comparing these techniques, understanding their theoretical underpinnings, and exploring scenarios where multiple methods are combined. At this level, it's crucial to understand when to use which method and why. Crystallization is the go-to for obtaining pure, solid substances from a solution, especially if high purity is required and the substance is heat-sensitive. It leverages solubility differences. Filtration, on the other hand, is for separating insoluble solids from liquids, relying on particle size. Sedimentation and decantation target suspended, heavier insoluble particles in liquids, primarily based on density differences. Magnetic separation is highly specific, used only when one component is magnetic. For instance, if you want pure salt from seawater, you choose crystallization over simple evaporation because it yields a purer product, leaving most impurities dissolved. Simple evaporation would leave all non-volatile impurities with the salt. Each method has its unique advantages and limitations, making the choice dependent on the specific characteristics of the mixture components. Let's consider the efficiency factors for each method. For crystallization, the rate of cooling is paramount. Slow cooling promotes larger, purer crystals. The choice of solvent is also critical, as it needs to dissolve the desired substance well when hot but poorly when cold, and ideally not dissolve impurities. In filtration, the porosity of the filter medium directly impacts what particles are retained and the flow rate. Pressure difference across the filter and the viscosity of the liquid also play significant roles. For sedimentation, particle size and the density difference between the solid and liquid are key. Larger, denser particles settle faster. Liquid viscosity also affects settling speed. Understanding these factors allows us to optimize the separation process for desired outcomes. Many real-world separation problems require a sequence of these methods. Imagine a mixture of iron filings, sand, and salt. You would first use magnetic separation to remove the iron filings. Then, You'd add water to dissolve the salt, leaving the sand undissolved. Next, filtration would separate the sand from the salt-water solution. Finally, crystallization or careful evaporation of the filtrate would yield pure salt. This sequential approach is common in chemical industries. Connecting these techniques to broader chemical theories enhances our understanding. Crystallization is deeply linked to solubility curves, which graphically show how a substance's solubility changes with temperature. Understanding these curves helps predict optimal cooling temperatures for maximum yield and purity. Filtration efficiency can be analyzed using fluid dynamics principles, considering factors like pressure drop and flow resistance through the filter medium. For sedimentation, Stokes' law mathematically describes the settling velocity of particles, highlighting the influence of particle size, density difference, and fluid viscosity. This law is fundamental in designing clarifiers in water treatment. Magnetic separation relies on the specific quantum mechanical properties that give rise to ferromagnetism, making certain materials strongly attracted to magnetic fields. These theoretical connections provide a deeper insight into why these methods work and how they can be optimized for various applications. Time for some hard-level practice. Question 1. Differentiate between crystallization and simple evaporation based on the purity of the obtained solid. Question 2. Explain why slow cooling is preferred over rapid cooling during crystallization. Question 3. A mixture contains salt, sand, and iron filings. Outline a sequential separation procedure. Question 4. What factors primarily influence the rate of sedimentation? Question 5. Describe 2 factors that affect the efficiency of a filtration process. Question 6. Why is magnetic separation not suitable for separating copper powder from zinc powder? And question 7. Can filtration remove dissolved impurities? Justify your answer. Think critically about these questions. Welcome to the hardest level. Here, we'll explore the cutting edge, diving into competitive level insights, engineering principles, and the advanced applications of these separation techniques in complex industrial and scientific scenarios. Prepare to challenge your understanding. Let's start with advanced crystallization. Beyond simple purification, we encounter fractional crystallization, a powerful method used to separate a mixture of 2 or more soluble solids that have significantly different solubilities at various temperatures. By carefully controlling the cooling rate and temperature stages, different components can be selectively crystallized out. The concept of crystal habit, or the external shape of a crystal, is also crucial. It's influenced by the solvent, cooling rate, and even the presence of trace impurities, which can alter the crystal lattice and affect its purity and properties. Industrially, complex crystallizers, like vacuum crystallizers which cool by evaporative heat loss, or Oslo crystallizers designed for controlled crystal growth, are engineered for high throughput and precise crystal size distribution, essential for pharmaceutical and chemical manufacturing. In filtration engineering, the choice of filter media extends far beyond simple paper. We use advanced materials like woven fabrics, porous ceramics, and sophisticated polymeric membranes for microfiltration, ultrafiltration, and nanofiltration, each targeting specific particle sizes and separation requirements. The mechanism of filtration can be classified into surface filtration, where particles form cake on the filter surface, and depth filtration, where particles are trapped within the filter's matrix. Furthermore, industrial processes often employ dead-end filtration, where all fluid passes through the filter, or cross-flow filtration, where fluid flows parallel to the membrane, reducing cake buildup and allowing for continuous operation, particularly useful for high solid or viscous suspensions. Understanding these engineering aspects is vital for designing efficient and scalable filtration systems in various industries, from water treatment to bioprocessing. Enhanced sedimentation and the powerful technique of centrifugal separation offer significant advantages. For sedimentation, the kinetics of flocculation are paramount in water treatment. By carefully selecting coagulants like alum or iron salts and optimizing their dose and mixing conditions, fine suspended particles can be aggregated into larger, heavier flocks that settle much faster. This drastically improves the efficiency of clarification. Centrifugation, however, takes separation to another level. Instead of relying solely on gravity, it uses centrifugal force, which can be thousands of times stronger, to rapidly separate components based on density and particle size. This makes it indispensable for separating very fine suspensions, colloids, or even emulsions that would take an impractical amount of time to settle by gravity. Industrial centrifuges, such as decanter centrifuges for continuous solid-liquid separation or disc stack centrifuges for liquid-liquid separation, are critical in chemical, food, and biotechnology industries, offering high-speed, efficient separation for complex mixtures. Finally, let's explore sophisticated magnetic separation and the broader challenges in separation science. Beyond simple iron filings, industrial magnetic separators are designed to separate even weakly magnetic or paramagnetic materials from non-magnetic ones, often using high-gradient magnetic separators, HGMS, that create extremely strong local magnetic fields. Eddy current separation is another advanced technique used to separate non-ferrous metals like aluminium and copper from waste streams. This is achieved by inducing eddy currents in these conductive metals, causing them to be repelled by a rapidly changing magnetic field, enabling their recovery in recycling. The field of separation science continually faces challenges like separating colloids and emulsions, which require advanced membrane technologies or demulsifiers. Emerging trends include green separation technologies, focusing on energy efficiency and sustainable solvents, and process intensification, aiming to combine multiple separation steps into more compact and efficient units. These innovations are crucial for addressing complex industrial and environmental challenges. Now, let's tackle some challenging questions from the hardest level. Question 1. Explain the principle behind fractional crystallization and provide a scenario where it would be preferred over simple crystallization. Question 2. Differentiate between dead-end and cross-flow filtration, highlighting their respective advantages. Question 3. How does flocculation enhance the efficiency of sedimentation in water treatment? Question 4. Describe the primary advantage of using centrifugation over gravity-based sedimentation. Question 5. In what industrial application would a high-gradient magnetic separator, HGMS, be particularly effective, and why? Continuing with our hardest level questions. Question 6. Explain the concept of crystal habit and how it can be influenced during crystallization. Question 7. Why is the selection of filter media crucial in industrial filtration, and what factors guide this selection? Question 8. Besides density, what other physical properties are critical for efficient separation using a centrifuge? Question 9. How does eddy current separation work, and for what type of materials is it primarily used? Question 10. Discuss one emerging trend in separation science aimed at improving sustainability. Take your time to formulate comprehensive answers, connecting the concepts we've discussed. And that brings us to the end of our in-depth exploration into mixtures and their separation techniques. From the basics of filtration to advanced industrial crystallization and magnetic separation, we've covered a vast and fascinating area of chemistry. We hope you've gained a deeper understanding and appreciation for how these methods are crucial in science, industry, and even our daily lives. To continue your learning journey and explore more such engaging content, make sure to visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting educational content. Keep learning, keep exploring, and stay curious.